I just beat Hollow Knight in under 18 hours on my first playthrough, no guides, no spoilers, just me, a rusty nail, and enough screaming to wake the dead. What started out as a casual playthrough turned into one of the most intense and honestly brutal gaming experiences of my life. And in this video, I'm taking you through that journey, every step, what made it so challenging, and how I survived it, barely. Let's dive into the madness. I went into this playthrough blind, no experience, no guidance, just a goal. Finish the game fast. I thought it would be a fun little challenge, but what I found was a deep, brutal, beautiful world that pulled me in completely. Every room was a mystery, every boss a test, and somehow I made it through. In this video, you will see the steps I had to take and the lessons I had to learn in order to complete this game before my time ran out. After wrapping up the tutorial, I stumbled into a quiet little village called Dirtmouth. It seemed peaceful, until I talked to this one lonely guy chilling by a bench, who casually dropped the bomb that everyone else had already jumped down a well to chase some ancient mystery underground. Naturally, with my galaxy-sized brain, I figured, yeah, that's probably where I'm supposed to go to. So down the well I went, completely unprepared for the chaos waiting for me below. Dropping into the forgotten crossroads, I braced myself for whatever fights awaited, while also trying to wrap my head around the game's weirdly floaty controls. One major issue? I had no idea where I was going. I was wandering around aimlessly until I found this humming dude selling maps. Finally, salvation. Or so I thought. I opened the map and it looked like a toddler went wild with a crayon. Completely useless. So I kept stumbling blind, somehow beat a balloon-looking mini-boss called the Gruzmother, and then spent nearly 2 hours lost in the crossroads before freeing this cool little guy called Sly. Then finally, finding the game's first real boss. A real test, the False Knight. As a new player, he looked huge and kind of terrifying. I was expecting a total beatdown, but as the fight went on, something clicked. I started reading his patterns, dodging better, getting my hits in, and then, just like that, the False Knight went down. My first real boss? Crushed. Another bug on the pile. With the False Knight down, my confidence was soaring. My reward? A shiny new spell, Vengeful Spirit. Basically a fireball that I could throw at enemies from any distance, dealing extra damage. I could use this fireball to unlock a new area, Green Path. I was feeling unstoppable, or at least slightly less confused. With my new spell, I headed into Green Path, ready for whatever this place had in store. Not long in, I found a guy hanging from the jaws of a giant bug. Naturally, I swooped in, only to get a handful of geo for my trouble. A bit more exploring led me to my second real boss, Hornet. At first, she seemed cool, until she wasn't. Before I knew it, we were locked into an epic duel to the death. This fight was tough. I won't lie, after a few failed attempts, I finally started dodging her attacks and landing the damage I needed. And then boom, defeated. Or not, she just kinda leaves. No dramatic collapse, no big finale, just peace out. At least I got a new ability out of it, so win? This new dash ability was a total game changer. I was zooming around the map at nearly double my previous speed and unlocking areas I couldn't even dream of before. While exploring, I stumbled into the Mantis village, and bam, another game-changing ability, the wall jump. Suddenly, platforming wasn't just possible, it was easy. After surviving some brutal parkour, I finally placed the city crest and entered what might be the coolest area yet, the City of Tears. While exploring, I stumbled across the nailsmith, who, for the right materials, could upgrade my nail and seriously boost my damage. After some deeper exploring, I found myself in the Soul Sanctum, and right in the path of the Soul Master. This guy put up a real fight, flying around and throwing out attacks like he owned the place. But armed with my shiny upgraded nail and a little bit of stubbornness, I took him down on my second try. Another unstoppable force turned into just another bug on the floor. Beating the Soul Master came with a nice reward, the Desolate Dive. At first, it felt a little underwhelming, just a fancy ground pound move, right? But little did I know, this ability would end up being essential for cracking open new paths and uncovering even deeper secrets hidden across Hallow. I thought I had everything figured out, but boy was I wrong. After literal hours of wandering and searching, and questioning my life choices, I finally found a hidden weak spot in the floor of the mines, leading me straight into the Crystal Peak. I had no idea why I needed to be here, but it was clearly the next step. This new area cranked up the platforming difficulty big time. Conveyor belts, invincible laser bugs, and generally difficult platforming. After an hour of brutal, sweaty platforming, I finally reached my prize, the Crystal Heart. A powerful new ability that let me dash infinitely at high speeds after a quick charge, unlocking a whole new world of places to explore and conquer. Now armed with my shiny new dash, I finally tackled something I'd been eyeing since the very beginning of the game. The parkour was brutal. Honestly, I had to try it a bunch of times, each attempt feeling like I was getting closer just to fail again. But after a lot of frustration and even more retries, I finally made it. And let me tell you, it was worth it. My reward? The one nail art I'd actually use for the rest of the run. The Great Slash. A devastating attack that would definitely come in handy for the chaos ahead. With the shiny new key in hand, I made my way down to the Royal Waterways, where I encountered the most terrifying boss in all of Hallow, the Dung Defender. Yeah, you heard that right, this guy's name alone had me shaking in my boots. But turns out, his fighting skills were as questionable as his title. I wrecked him on my first try without breaking a sweat. After his defeat, I got to turn on the water, which, to be honest, I still have no clue what it actually does, but hey, it felt like progress. After offloading the mountain of relics I'd gathered from around Hallow, I made an extremely questionable decision. I bought out most of Sly's shop. Don't ask me why, I honestly couldn't tell you. There was zero strategy here, just the pure, unfiltered joy of completely draining his inventory. The satisfaction of wiping him out, one useless item at a time, was priceless. After nearly clearing out Sly's entire shop, I spent hours aimlessly wandering around, desperately trying to figure out where to go next. I was starting to feel like I was running out of options and almost got stuck, until I found this weird looking statue that decided to knock me out cold. When I came to, I was in the dream world. Following a strange path led me to a mysterious figure who handed me the dream nail. Basically, a magic nail that cuts between the real world and the dream world. After using it to escape, I bumped into a moth who told me I needed to gather essence. Not gonna lie, I noted that, but my main focus was still completing the game at this point, and that had side quests written all over it. After some more exploration, I stumbled upon one of the most game-changing items in the entire game, Isma's Tear. With this item, I could finally swim through acid without instantly meeting my end. But now, with that tear in hand, a whole new world of exploration opened up to me. No more dodging acid pools like a coward. This was progress. After some wandering, I stumbled into the Broken Vessel, a boss that quickly proved to be the toughest fight I'd encountered so far. Time and time again, I charged in full of hope, only to get absolutely wrecked. No way was I letting a broken bug stop me. I knew it was just a matter of time before I'd come out on top and claim whatever treasure lay beyond me. And then, I did it. I was half in disbelief as I took him down, but my victory was short-lived, because I was on the hunt for my prize, a pair of wings. These wings would prove to be essential in my next phase of exploration. I knew exactly where they'd come in handy. But first, I went to upgrade my nail one last time. With my freshly upgraded nail in hand, I made my way into a previously unreachable area. And guess who bumped into me again? Hornet. This time though, she wasn't messing around. She straight up told me I'd have to prove my worth if I wanted to get past her. Excuse me? Who does she think she's talking to? I'm clearly worthy, right? Well, it didn't take long for me to eat those words. Hornet went all out, blitzing me with attacks and taking me out in record time. I quickly realized I was in for one long grind, so I got to work. I spent hours learning her moves and figuring out her attack patterns. Some fights felt like she had my number, predicting my every move, and others felt like I was the one outsmarting her. But in the end, it wasn't about fancy tactics, it was just about grinding it out until I got the win. And then, finally, this happened. After Hornet finally deems me worthy, I snag the King's Crest and make my way into the Abyss. At first, I thought I'd just wipe out all the shades, you know, like anyone else would. But then it hit me. They just keep coming, like a never-ending swarm of angry ghosts. So I switched gears and started speedrunning up the platforms, dodging shadows left and right. Eventually, I made it to the top and lit up the lighthouse. That's when things took a turn. The light revealed the way for me to dash across the abyssal lake, and boom, there it was, the Shade Cloak. This thing was a lifesaver. With it, I could access all those areas I'd been dying to get into. With my new shade cloak, I breeze past the barrier and enter the teacher's archives. Inside, I'm greeted by a massive jellyfish, Umu, who wastes no time in nearly wiping me out. But I wasn't about to let some jellyfish get the best of me. Fueled by the indomitable will of the human spirit and a bit of rage, I took it down. After defeating Umu, I ventured deeper into the archives until I found Monomon the teacher, my first dreamer. I had no clue what I was supposed to do, so after a minute of hacking away at the case, I finally figured out, inspect the thing. Enter Quirrell. We have a quick chat, he unseals Monomon, and I'm finally able to dream nail her. With her defeat, the seal on the black egg weakens, and the infection spreads further. Time's ticking, and I need to track down the other dreamers if I'm going to save Hallow Nest and beat the clock. With one dreamer down and the clock ticking, I rushed back to the City of Tears, aiming to scale the Watcher's Spire and find the next target, Lurien. But of course, Hallow Nest wasn't going to just let me waltz up there. Midway through the climb, I walked straight into an ambush. The Watcher Knights. 6 knights, 2 at a time, in an arena barely big enough for a decent dodge roll. Fantastic. These guys were pure chaos, bouncing and rolling across the floor like possessed bowling balls, making half their attacks feel downright undodgeable. Mildly infuriating? Absolutely. But after a few brutal attempts, I cracked the code. Rush in, take out the first knight before the second can spawn. Then play it smart. Lots of dodging, lots of fireballs, lots of patience. Vengeful Spirit was a lifesaver here, letting me tag both knights at once whenever they lined up just right. With a few more tries, and maybe a minor breakdown or two, I finally wiped them out. The path to Lurien was clear. I climbed the last few floors, dream nailed the second dreamer, and watched the seal on the black egg weaken even further. 2 dreamers down, 1 to go. And if I thought things had been creepy so far, I had no idea what was waiting for me next in Deep Nest. Stepping into Deep Nest was like walking into a nightmare. The whole place oozed dread. Dark, claustrophobic tunnels, creepy crawlies lurking around every corner. But even that unsettling vibe didn't prepare me for what I'd find deeper inside. I stumbled across what looked like a distant village, and to my surprise, a few kind strangers offered me a bench to rest at. Finally, a safe spot, right? Wrong. The second I sat down, bam, I was trapped. Turns out these villagers were a lot less friendly and a lot more horrifying than they first appeared. When I woke up, I found myself imprisoned, strung up like a poor bug snack. I had to cut myself free and scramble through the darkness to escape. I'm not gonna lie, this was probably the most creeped out I've ever been playing a video game, but fear wasn't going to stop me. Pushing through the nightmare, I finally found Hera, the final dreamer. Strangely, she wasn't hidden behind a monstrous boss, just some tough enemies between me and her resting place. After a tense climb, I used the dream nail to release her, breaking the last seal standing between me and the endgame. As I stood there, the realization hit me. The final battle to save Hallow Nest was about to begin. With the dreamers defeated and the infection spreading fast, there was only one thing left to do. Make my way back to the Black Egg Temple. With the final dreamer defeated, there was only one place left to go, the Black Egg Temple. I stepped inside, the air thick with tension, the walls pulsing with that ominous orange glow. I double-checked my charm loadout, took a deep breath, and prepared myself for the final battle. No more running, no more second chances. Pushing forward, I wasn't greeted by an immediate fight, but by a massive figure, shackled and silent. It was the Hollow Knight. Without hesitation, I set to work slashing through the chains, knowing exactly what I was about to unleash. And then, it began. The Hollow Knight sprang to life with a ferocity I wasn't ready for. Within seconds, he dismantled me like I was nothing. But I wasn't going down that easily. Again and again and again. Each attempt, I inched closer, learning his attacks, dodging a little better, striking a little harder. Still, the clock was ticking. Less than 5 hours remained before my challenge windows closed. I could feel the weight of it pressing down on me. This wasn't just a fight. It was a culmination of everything I'd endured. I stepped away from the screen, breathing deep. There was no backing out now. It was time. One last attempt, one last battle. Win or lose, this was it. As the credits rolled, I leaned back in a wave of relief and pure excitement crashing over me. I had done it. Finished Hollow Knight with no guide, against the clock, with nothing but stubbornness and a dream. From the very beginning I knew I could pull this off, but actually seeing it happen, nothing could match that feeling.